Hello writers, and welcome to week 2 of Preptober 2022. I had a reasonable week last week. It wasn't everything that I expected it to be. It didn't go according to plan, but that's why we make plans. We make plans as writers so that we can commit ourselves to a certain timetable for creating work and getting the word count done. But sometimes things will come up in the way and halt us in our tracks or cause us to have a change of direction where we had expected perhaps to do X numbers of words, or we were looking to work on these 2 or 3 chapters of our work in progress. I recorded in last week's video that I had 3 very good writing days, and I managed 5,000 words and somewhat more, closer to 5,500 words, of work that I think doesn't need much of an edit. I'm happy with that, and that can sit very nicely inside an existing work in progress. What I think I want to talk about today is my own writing struggles, and one of those is around intention versus outcome. I often will intend to write 4 or 5 or 6 days a week, and rarely do I manage 5 days a week. So I'm learning this Preptober to set smaller goals where I can be happier with the outcome, because the gap between my intention and my finished output is much closer than it would be if I were being harder on myself. I think one of the things that I'm conscious of, looking at other writers on YouTube, following other writers and talking with other writers in email back and forth this first week of Preptober, is the importance of being gentle on yourself. The importance of saying, okay, this is what I'd like to achieve. If I can achieve this, I'm happy. Instead of saying I want to go for this level of output, I might lower it to here. But the difference between where I am now to here is still a great gain, and something that I can be comfortable with and proud of in the process. I've just been looking at some of my notes in my diary. By the way, I bought this new pen this week. It's a Bayer 388, and it was a ridiculous price. It's a remarkable pen, and it has a great similarity, in fact, it's got a great similarity to a fountain pen I had as a schoolboy. Again, it's got that beautiful golden flesh or arrow at top of the barrel cap, and it's stunning. But this writes really well. It cost less than £5, and I'm delighted with it. But that's a segue. That's not what the video is about, so my apologies for that. No, my concern, and the thing I want to talk about and share about this evening is the whole process of working towards goals that are realistic and are only somewhat of a stretch rather than a huge push. I'm conscious that I was very fortunate 2 years ago, and I wrote my book 10-Minute Budget during the course of NaNoWriMo, and that's been a great book for me. It's been a steady seller. People are enjoying it, and I get good feedback and one-to-one emails about that book, 10-Minute Budget. But it was a NaNoWriMo goal, and it worked really well. This year I've set myself a much harder target of 2 non-fiction books, and I have quite a bit of work done on those since my last writing day on Friday. It's now Monday that I'm recording this, and I hope to get this video edited and uploaded perhaps on Tuesday, which is the 11th of October, tomorrow. But my intention of creating 2 non-fiction books, because my non-fiction books are steady sellers, and that's why I'm a writer, because I love sharing ideas that people will buy into and then work with, in terms of a book being the answer to something they have questions about. But what I want to do is I want to finish my existing fiction story rather than start a new one, because I know that if I start a new one when I still haven't tied it up and finished the first one, I will feel that I've wasted the month of NaNoWriMo. So stick with me. I will share other updates and stories as we progress through the month. But right now, at the 10th of October, I feel happy about the planning work I've done this weekend, only about an hour and a half each day, for my 2 non-fiction titles that will be published by the end of November. And the 5,000 words I did last week was all on my existing work in progress to see that finished. So be careful with the goals that you set for Preptober, getting ready for NaNoWriMo, and find meaningful goals for the output that you want to create in the course of October, where we are right now. But look at those goals with a thoughtful eye and break them down. I happen to have been tidying up one of my rooms today, and I have a beautiful magnifying glass that I used to use a lot for philately and stamp collecting activity. But this is a reminder to look closely at the overall goal and to see it in greater detail and to break things down in such a way that you feel you can accomplish the goals you set yourself. Instead of having one big goal to create a 50,000 word manuscript for NaNoWriMo, have a look at the building blocks underneath it, and those might be: how does this support my hobby as a writer? How might the achievement of these goals go to help me as a writer who wants to generate an income, perhaps by uploading a physical book, a digital book, an audio book to KDP over the next 2 months? How does that book make me feel as a person, as an artist, as a person in the creator economy or the creator culture, which takes the pressure of having to sell what you create? How does being a creator make me feel? And therefore, whether I'm writing by pen or paper, or whether you or I are writing using something like a wireless keyboard or a laptop like my MacBook here, find what it is that drives you, break that down into meaningful stepping stones, and set a meaningful outcome for where you will be this time next week, then, which is week 2, then at the end of week 3, and week 4 for Preptober. October is the foundational month for what we do next month in November. So having a good process in place to take you forward across October is the most important thing to focus on right now, as opposed to knowing exactly what you're going to be writing every single day of November. November can be a tremendous shock to the system if this is your first NaNoWriMo. Set yourself up for success early on by working on creating realistic and practical goals for October that will allow you to slip fairly easily into productive daily writing in November. It doesn't matter at all whether you or I are new to Preptober or we've been here before, because every book you write is different from the one before. There may be similar characters, there may be similar story arcs, or if you're writing non-fiction like I'm working on at the moment, it could be a topic you've never written on before, in which you have some experience and some knowledge, or you are creating a non-fiction title from scratch based on what you know your market wants answers to. We all have to approach Preptober fresh every year, and it's the same for NaNoWriMo. I would say set realistic goals, set foundational stepping stones for yourself so that you can move comfortably through October with a gentle element of stretch, but that you're ready to write productively and creatively and consistently when we enter November and NaNoWriMo. So wherever you are and however you write, whether it's with one of these or you're a digital scribe, happy writing.